Perfect. Welcome, ladies. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow to all you mothers. Happy Kentucky Derby Day today. Okay. I want to start out by giving a little bit of a disclaimer because I don't want to give you this information because, like Dr. Zach said, the stores don't have huge amounts of stock. And when I go to the grocery store to buy stuff for my house and it's gone, it's really irritating. I went yesterday to 3 different grocery stores to find something for this pizza. 2 stores stopped selling it, and the other one put it on sale, and they're all gone. So I had to replace it. So I apologize for that. Now, one more thing to mention is this. I'm going to go through basically our pantry, our home pantry, and all the replacements, because if you've ever had a food allergy test, it can be kind of overwhelming. You look at that list, sometimes 2 members of your family have tests and they don't match up. So there's twice as much stress that goes into it. So essentially, who's had a food allergy test for our office? And who's had a food consultation with Jess? Not enough hands. She will go through your list like this. All your allergies, all the replacements, recipes, stores to get them in, aisle, package, exactly where it is. She's crazy. But she's crazy good. So I recommend that to everybody. If you look at your test, because the first time you go to a food allergy test and you walk into a grocery store, we've had people call crying. It's actually our cousin actually called and said, I don't know what to do. So she sat down with Jess and relieved her mind immensely. But not all of these foods may be allergy friendly for you, okay? But they are allergy friendly in our house, and some that I mentioned aren't, but I will unfortunately have to talk about that as well. Let's just jump right into food, okay? Food sucks now, unfortunately. Childhood obesity, almost 1 in 3 children over the age of 2 are obese. I remember vividly going through grade school, and we had, K through 8, 25 people in each class is roughly 225 people. There's like 3 or 4, right? So what's changed? Obviously, ask Dr. Zach what's changed, the quality, right? 45% of children below the poverty line, 23% above. Why is that number drop in half? Because the good food is so expensive, right? But if we get more bought, prices come down. So that's why I'm giving you this information, even though I don't want to, okay? 70% of those kids have at least 1 marker for heart disease. 40% have 2. So, food quality. Don't worry, the government's on it, okay? Food Quality Protection Act. I kind of laughed about this because we were talking about this with Dr. Zach. Mandated a health-based standard for pesticides used in foods, provided special protections for babies and infants, and streamlined the approval of safe pesticides for us to eat. Like I said, don't worry. Your money's going to a good place. So if anybody knows or have known Dr. Patrick for a long time, you might know the story, but he used to have a radio show, and he kind of got kicked off, and we'll cover why he got kicked off, but if you know Dr. Patrick, you can imagine why he got kicked off. But he got called out, and at the time it was like a very controversial statement because he said online, and then he got major firestorm back from doctors and dietitians and things like that. But his statement was, if you eat like the food pyramid, you look like the food pyramid. Okay? So, and then he said some stuff about some other things, and they said, that's our biggest advertiser, don't say anything bad about them. And he came back, of course, laid into him, and they didn't welcome him back. So, he had a very short-lived radio career. So, Milka does a body what? You are Wellness Way patients, aren't you? Okay? So, does this look natural to you? Baby pigs drinking milk from a mother pig? How about that? Even better. Here we go. When the hell did this happen? Right? Right? Common sense tells us this does not make much sense. Now, a human baby is born about 8 pounds and grows up to 150, 200 pounds. A baby cow is born at about 150 and grows to 2,000. okay? Let's say it was good for us. Do you think the size and the molecular structure of that milk is good for us? No, it just doesn't assimilate into our system like it should. So, listen to baby cow. His mommy's milk is for him, okay? And there's another question. If we're drinking all the cow's milk, what are the cows drinking? I don't know either. So, when I literally emptied out our cabinet for this one. There are so many different options. Obviously, allergy-friendly approved, of course, but coconut milk, hazelnut milk, almond milk, rice milk, hemp milk, chocolate, unsweetened, vanilla, whatever. You got millions of different flavors, millions of different options. Allergy-friendly is always the best. Unsweetened, of course, will have a lot less sugar than the rest. Now, let's get rid of this story here quick. What's gluten-free mean? Corn, right? So when we talk about grain, right, gluten's bad, right? Gluten's bad, but whole grain is better. All right, it's not. You guys are awesome. So when we look at the whole grain, we talk about gluten. So we have the bran, which is the fiber, then the endosperm, and then the germ, which has some vitamins and fats and things like that. Primarily, every seed from every grain has an endosperm. Every endosperm has a prolamine. The prolamine for wheat is gliadin, and that's where we get gluten, okay? So when things say gluten-free, what they mean is wheat-free. So you'll even see things that say gluten-free and wheat-free. Well, when you see gluten-free, assume it's a lie, first of all. Because like I said, every grain has one. Now, that white thing is white bread and things like that, and that's essentially the gluten, right? That's where the sugar and the protein. The protein is the prolamine, which is the gluten. Now, like I said, every grain has a prolamine, gliadin, seclin, adenine, hordein, pasinin, zyne, caffein, ozonin. Now, the percentage means how much of that endosperm is the gluten itself. So the higher the number, the more inflammatory it is to us. Okay? So if you're looking for a less inflammatory bread or something like that, which we'll cover, rice is a lot less inflammatory. But, so I always say regardless of this, gluten became the devil and gluten-free and wheat because it will directly cause inflammation, food allergies, even if you're not allergic. It is that inflammatory. Okay? IBS, things like that, they have to go gluten-free. Why? Because it's inflammatory, even if you're not allergic. So when we're talking about some alternatives to these, we have some fantastic ones here. Namaste is primarily, if I can read that, rice, tapioca, sorghum. Or Pamela's on the right is rice, tapioca, potato. Who saw my picture of my Olaf waffles? Did you see those? Okay. First one to yell out the proper answer of which one of those three is allergy-friendly in my house and that we used. Who's at Pamela's? Here you go. Okay? So for our kids, when I read this, I see brown rice, white rice, tapioca, rice, potato, grainless and aluminum-free baking powder, baking soda, sea salt. Right? So it's an awesome alternative for wheat, but it is also a lot less inflammatory, and it tastes really stinking good. Those kids went to town on Olaf, okay? And luckily, I made like 3 times as much, so I got to eat the rest. But it's not like you're going to eat something like that as an alternative. It's going to taste like cardboard, okay? So when we use these things, if we find one that doesn't taste good, I'm not going to tell you about it, okay? So if it's up here, it's Jason's tummy approved. Okay? And as a dad, who gets to eat all the unfinished food? Right? It's awesome. So I want good tasting food in our house. Now, breads. A lot of you, whoever has come to us and you have a wheat allergy or wheat or yeast or egg allergy and you like bread, we always have the Sammy's Bakery alternative. Now, Sammy's Bakery you can find in every grocery store in town, in the freezer section of the natural food aisle. I personally prefer the sourdough, but when I do, you also have to toast it a little bit so that it gets a little moist. But it's a great alternative if you want to make sandwiches, or if your kids want to eat sandwiches and they're allergic to things. Now, Food for Life brown rice flour tortillas. Brown rice tortillas, sorry. This is my pizza crust. Okay? This is how we make pizzas at home. We get it a little warm in the toaster oven, pull it out. This is how simple it can be. This is the replacement I had to get because mine wasn't in the store, which is sad. So this is literally how long it takes to make your own pizza at home, which is fantastic. And the kids love them, and they're not big, doughy things that are going to fill you up and get you all bloated. Organic prairie, uncured pepperoni. So who did not get a pizza for lunch? Okay. And I'm also quick with this because I did spend some time behind the counter at Papa John's. And I cut a lot of miles delivering those pizzas. And let me tell you, if you really want to irritate your pizza delivery driver, order anchovies. Car stinks for a week. It is horrible. Okay, pearls, olives to go, little container, fantastic. If I can get these on the pizza before my son grabs it away and just starts eating them whole, he literally will eat the whole thing. Organic Valley, Parmesan, mozzarella cheese, excuse me. This is the messy part. Especially when your kids like it and they come over and reach their hands onto the pizza and steal the cheese. Every time. And then you douse it with Italian seasoning. Now this is the most important part. You gotta get a lot of it on there. So if you people who did raise your hand and you are hungry for this pizza, Ollie's is gonna cook it up for you. My mom's birthday is January 2nd. Who's closest to January 2nd? January 1st? Anybody on the 2nd? That's the only way you're winning. All right. Now, the only reason I'm really going to give this to you is to get you to stop crossing your legs. So you can hear us out there. If you want to take this out there, I have a deal with them. They're going to cook it up for you. There you go. And it's that easy. That's our Friday night tradition. I'll close this. All right. Moving on. So when we talk about baking, baking is a huge one because we have all these delicious recipes for cookies and cakes and things like that. Who's baked with xylitol before? We just talked about the xylitol suckers and everything like that. Now, would you agree with me it tastes the same as sugar? Right? It bakes pretty much the same consistency, right? So here's the cool thing. Right away, antibacterial and antifungal properties. When my kids get a sore throat, spoonful of xylitol right in their mouth. Let them suck on it. As it goes down, the bacteria let go because they eat the sugar, go through, boom out. Okay? Lessen your sore throat in a very fast period of time. Diabetics can use it as a sugar alternative. It's absorbed in the small intestine where it increases the normal gut flora. So it'll actually increase your immune system as well. Okay? Now, there are different kinds. You'll find corn xylitol, typically from GMO corn, right? Look for birch. It actually comes from birch bark. And it is actually a fiber. It's not even a sugar. So baking has the same texture and sweetness. Use it in equal qualities. Cup of sugar, cup of xylitol. Takes all the thought process out of it. You can make your own brown sugar too with a little teaspoon per 3/4 cup. And I did the math. I did some algebra the other day. 1.33 per cup. You're welcome. I got a headache that day. And you can also make powdered. If you put it in your high-power blender and blend that stuff up, you can make powdered sugar too. Okay? So, brown sugar, always use molasses to make it. This is the one that we have at our house. Okay? Very simple. Now, we talk about butter and baking with butter. A lot of people have dairy allergies, right? It's one of the most common. Wheat, dairy, soy are three of the things that we try to help people with the most because those can be some of the most inflammatory foods. So in case of food allergy, they have this one out. It's called Melt. If anybody's used this before, couple different kinds. It's made from coconut oil and some other things. Unfortunately, something like this we can't have in my house because both our kids are allergic to coconut. Yeah, guess we found that out. We were putting it in my daughter's bottles when she was little, and she got a really bad diaper rash. Like somebody put lipstick, bright red lipstick. So as good, natural, caring parents, let's ease that up with some coconut oil. Yeah. Then we did her food allergy test, and we looked at each other, and we almost cried. So, luckily, she's not allergic to butter. And it was funny the other day because I was looking for the butter. I had it out. I was making the Olaf waffles. And I turned around, and she had stuck her finger through the stick of butter and was walking around like this. So we had a donut-shaped piece of butter sitting on the counter. Yeah, she's a stinker. She gets from her mother. These come in, Earth Balance come in sticks. So when you get a tub, if you ever tried to do the 1 stick of butter is 8 ounces, I have a 12-ounce tub of butter, how am I going to figure this out to get it right? Sticks, right? So these do come in tubs for spreading, but they do come in the sticks, which work really well for baking as well, okay? Now, if you want this recipe, I can email it to you in PDF form. I did make these the other day. I cooked them a little bit too long, otherwise they're going to be here as a giveaway. But I burnt them. I'm sorry. So the original recipe called for 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of sugar, going down 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and the other ones. So what I do, I just replace those things. I use the butter. I use grapeseed oil for the oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil, whatever you want to do. I made the brown sugar right there. You just take the molasses, put it in there, stir it up. Warm up the molasses first. It'll save you a headache. You're welcome. Okay. These are the chocolate chips we use. They're semi-sweet cacao chips. Now, Dr. Kelly already talked a little bit about cacao. It is a superfood. It is fantastic in its natural form. It's a little bit bitter. So when we talk about semi-sweet, this is a really great alternative. There are some other brands out there, Enjoy Life and some others, that you can get, which I recommend because I want these. Don't buy them. All right, now, cooking with oils. I'm sure a lot of you have heard by now, don't cook with olive oil, right? Do we know why? Yep. Yeah, it has a very low heat ratio, and what happens when it gets too hot, turns into a trans fat, and it gets rancid and turns into a poison. Raw over salads and things like that's awesome. Straight out of the bottle, go for it, okay? It's a fantastic essential oil. Grapeseed oil has a lot better stability when it comes to baking and frying, okay? One of the best, of course, is coconut oil, but as I said, we can't use it at our house. Now, one of the things that we do a lot of frying with is actually, right? Good old-fashioned lard, butter, fat. No, we make it ourselves. We cook bacon, take the bacon grease, pour it in a jar. Next time we cook, scoop it out, throw it in there, it melts, makes everything taste like bacon. And that makes life a little bit better. Fruit snacks. Anybody with children has to find foods that they will eat as snacks, correct? So these, you can find these at Woodman's, right on the end cap by where the kombucha is, by the fruits, where it goes from fruits and vegetables to store, right there. Literally, just apples, just bananas, just mangoes. That's what this is. There's nothing else in there. It's just dehydrated. Oh, geez. Karens. Yep. Also, if kids like fruit roll-ups, there are these nice little fruit leathers made from nothing more than organic fruit. Okay? You can find those even at Costco in big boxes, right? Costco memberships? If you don't have one, you're being silly. Go get one. They're one of the best organic food stores in the country right now. Costco. Yep. Now, frozen foods, frozen treats. These, Julie's sorbet bars. Nothing really in there, but really good fruit blended up. Okay? Every other day, now my daughter's gotten into this thing where it's, what popsicle did I have yesterday? Grape, or purple or orange? Orange. Okay, I'll have purple today. She's on a back and forth, right? So she knows about food rotation, so she doesn't get those food allergies and things like that. But, so that's what she'll come up. She loves them. She goes to town on those things. Even rice, the rice milk, Rice Dream, they also make rice ice cream that she can have because she can't have dairy, she can't have coconut, so she can't have Coconut Bliss, which is another great one. Everything great is made with coconut. And she also is allergic to sunflower. Good luck. She had really chapped lips. You know how hard it was to find a chapstick without coconut or sunflower in it that didn't have soy in it? It was a nightmare. It was. Snack bars, candy bar replacements. Now, these are fantastic. Now, if you go, you see Cliff bars, you see Luna bars, you see all these different things. They have soy, they have 50 different ingredients. Half the time you don't know what the words are. My favorite is the cherry pie. It has cherries, dates, and almonds. Blueberry muffin has blueberries, cashews, lemon juice. Is that it? And dates for the stickiness. Okay? You can make them at home. You can buy those ingredients, mash them up, pit the dates, buy pitted dates because that's also a pain in the butt. If you're going to buy dates, get the pitted ones. We had to make desserts for the Healthy Desserts Talk, and if you had mine, the little cherry almond balls, I had to pit all those dates. So, as well as these, there's these new ones that we found. It's called That's It. They're called That's It bars. See the picture? That's it. See the one with apples and bananas? That's it. It's apples and bananas. That's it. What a novel concept. You can find these in town in one place. The festival on the east side. Yeah. In the organic food section. No, that's it. That's it. That's literally it. And they're delicious. And my kids eat them, so we're happy. Kids also love potato chips, right? You can go get gluten-free chips. What do they have in them? Corn. Meet the olive oil chip from Good Health. That one in the middle, olive oil, the sea salt one, has potatoes, olive oil, sea salt. The rosemary adds in rosemary. Now, when they get a little fancier, like which would be my favorite, but I haven't found them in the store, the sea salt and vinegar, because who doesn't like that? Then you get couple other preservatives and things like maltodextrin in there. So the ones on the floor, what you see on the label is literally what's in the chip. Allergic to olives? Oh, they make avocado oil ones too. Isn't that awesome? Same deal though, the more complex the flavor, the little bit more stuff you gotta look for, okay? Now, people like chips, people also like crackers. Now these are a couple that we found that are allergy-free in our house. Glutino is pretty popular gluten-free brand. They're more like the Ritz cracker. But the Nut Thins, instead of being made from wheat or rice or anything else, they're made from nuts. Got an almond allergy, they have pecan. Got a pecan allergy, they have almond. Right? And they're little discs and they're crunchy chips and they're fantastic. With a little salami on top, a little piece of cheese. Delicious. Now, they also have found graham crackers. Kids love graham crackers, right? Pamela's, remember the flour? Who loves graham crackers? You're the first hand I saw. And they come in little itty-bitty bites. Fastest hand means the most love for the graham crackers. But yeah, the little ones, you know, you buy the gluten-free, different kind of brands. Have you ever tried to make s'mores with gluten-free graham crackers? Yeah, right? Horrible, aren't they? These are actually more moist than those dry wafer crackers, okay? Who had the question about apple cider vinegar? You did. There you go. Okay? Now, when you look at this, prevents flu and stomach illness, dissolves kidney stones, pH balance, helps relieve heartburn, nausea, acid reflux, allergies, asthma, blah, 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 gets rid of warts, helps prevent acne, soothes bugs and bites. When our kids get sick, we'll put it in their bath, okay? You got some toenail issues or some foot issues, buy a bottle, dump it in a tub, soak your feet, 20 minutes. Blow your mind. They'll come out as smooth as a baby's butt. All right? It's really cool. Now, who drinks apple cider vinegar? Tastes good, doesn't it? Shh. That's the thing. Apple cider vinegar. grape flavored apple cider vinegar. It's only 15% of the juice, the rest is the apple cider vinegar. You can get it at Woodman's. Right here. Since you had the question.
Thank you very much.
Now, we're trying to help out my son's tummy, so he will throw a straw in it, and he'll drink it every time. We just put a straw in it. Apple cider vinegar, you want to take a tablespoon before meals and things like that. It's going to help the digestion process. Now, who's ever drank apple cider vinegar and vomited? Here, I got one for you too. You can try this one. Tastes like grape juice. Like I said, if my kids eat it. Yeah, there you go. That you'll be able to stomach. Don't stand in front of a speaker and listen to yourself talk. So, yeah, for all the amazing things this does for digestion and health, it is really hard to drink. But if you're in Woodman's and you're walking down towards the natural food, you have the long aisles here and the short aisles here. You get to the juice. You take a left. I'm looking at all the juice. Right smack dab in the middle. This is where you'll find it. And they have about 6 of the flavors there. That's how I tell people where stuff is. I got to walk through the store with them and point it out. Sports drinks, kids with activities, or if you go work out. Now, I always tell people with sugar, with fruits with sugar and things like that, eat what grows locally. It grows there for a reason, right? If you live in Cocoa Beach, I'm going there next week, for a week on the beach. If you live somewhere where you're sweating all the time because it's hot and humid, eat tropical fruit like it's going out of style because you're going to get those electrolytes and things replaced a lot easier than from an apple. It doesn't really get very hot around here. We don't need to eat that stuff, right? But sports, activities, and things like that, Gatorade is what? Sugar, right? Or fake sugar, which is even better. Coconut water. Go crazy on coconut water, right? If anybody was at the Healthy Desserts, your Dr. Kelly talked about coconut. It's fantastic. Once again, Costco, cases, cheap. Sweeteners, right? Now, instead of going and getting some crazy Starbucks syrupy stuff in your coffee, if you ever use this in black coffee to give it a flavor, does anybody do that just with black coffee? How many drops do you put in? Couple? Couple's too many for me. 2.5? 1? Yeah. You know how long a bottle does that last? 1 drop at a time I use. I can't do any more than that. But it's super sweet, and Nature Stevia brand has so many different flavors, it's ridiculous. Where you can get a bunch of, go out right on their website. You can get it at our office. You can get it at Down to Earth. I think Be Alive. I think Terry Naturally. Yeah, they're getting it more and more and more around town. Adam and Laura, who make it, come into the office and sell it right through there. That's how we met them. Be Alive does. Yeah. But if you don't drink coffee, you got kids who like soda. Look at that, root beer, black cherry cream soda. You know, it takes a little bit more than 1 drop in water to get them that root beer flavor, but it gets you that root beer flavor. Teas, if you like teas, but they have too much sugar in it for you. 1/4 dropper, 1/2 dropper of this in water. Blueberry, strawberry, lemon, peach is my favorite. All right, so you can make peach tea with just a little bit of stevia and water versus going and spending a ton of money on buying cases of peach tea, which have a bunch of added sugar in it. Ladies, pumpkin spice. Yep. A little bit of pumpkin spice, a little bit of almond milk, coconut milk. Go to town, right? Put it in your coffee, pumpkin spice season, all year round. You don't gotta wait for Starbucks to come around in, what's it, October, September. Desserts, caramel flavor, apple flavor, plain, French vanilla. I think the recipe for that, these are pulled right from their Facebook page. So I'd go on their Facebook page, they got tons of recipes and things like that on there. But they last forever because you really don't go through it that much. So you'll end up with 10 of them sitting there open. Just throw them in the refrigerator. Here's a big blown up list. Dr. Zach talked about the clean 15, the dirty dozen. It could have done like the dirty 30. It rhymes better. But like I said, ewg.org, go on there. They'll, give them your email address. It goes right to your junk file anyway, if you don't want to get bombarded with emails. But check it right after. You'll get this list. You can print it off. You can print it off wallet size. This is massively, massively blown up. But when it comes to grocery shopping, I always tell people the same thing. If it's on that dirty list, eat it organic. If it's on the clean list, do whatever you want. However, I always also add, if you don't eat the skin, the thicker the skin, the less the need for organic. Oranges, bananas, things like that. Where's pesticide go? Might get a little bit in there, but it's going to be on the outside. Right? So when it comes to decisions like that, if you want to get oranges, non-organic, you're going to throw away the peel anyway. Unless you're really weird. So there are local places. Most of the stuff that I talk about here is either at Costco or Woodman's. Some of it's at Festival. But the thing with Festival is they're not homogenous. Right? You can go to one festival and they'll have it. The next one won't. It drives you batty. I used to go to 3 different festivals to get everything I want. Now I just go to Costco. VitaCost is an online retailer. I think that's where we get all our aloe juice and things like that from, but they have a ton of natural products. So does ThriveMarket.com. So a couple of easy places. Aldi's getting better. Does Trader Joe's own Aldi? Costco owns Aldi? Are we going to fight about this? Okay. Somebody owns Aldi's, and they're making a lot more natural, a lot more organic. I heard that too. Okay? Which is fantastic because they're a heck of a lot cheaper in a lot of stores. Okay? So, a couple more things. Do any of you have a son named Jason? A son named Jason? You do? All right. I got some stuff to get rid of up here. So you are a heck of a woman for naming your son Jason. Here you go. All right. Now, who else wants a t-shirt? We got 3 more to give away. I'll try something here. They wouldn't let me have a t-shirt cannon. I asked. Believe me, I asked. I gotta warm up. Give me a break, I'm old. All right, over here. I'm gonna go grab another one, right there. I got one more. I'm gonna steal one of Dr. Jesse's. Don't tell him though. I'm sure he can't hear me. Okay, I always make, it's a nice t-shirt. It's a super nice t-shirt. But as soon as they came out with this one, I looked at them, I rolled my eyes, and I turned my back and I walked away. Because wellness is not a color. All right, nice catch. Reminds me of the one where the baseball bat was going towards kid's head and the dad reached out his hand and stopped the bat. You see that? Whew. All right, so we are going into our last break. Thank you. Don't buy all my stuff. Please. But if you've had a food allergy test, I do recommend if you were struggling with it, do talk to Jess at the office. She is fantastic. She's been, how old's Connor, 9 years old? Been dealing with food allergies for 9 years. She's an expert. Okay. Questions?
Where do you usually get your chips? And do you know if they're at festival food, the chips that you recommended?
I get them at Woodman's. I'm not sure if those chips are at Festival, to tell you the truth, or which festival they would be at. I know they're at De Pere.
She said they're at the east side and they're organic.
Okay, and I know they're in De Pere in the organic too.
Now, what was the name of the flour that you used to make those chocolate chip cookies?
Pamela's. No, the chocolate chip cookies I made with the Namaste from Woodman's. Yes. This one, this is not the one I normally get. I normally get Organicville because we have a black pepper allergy in the house, and that's the only one I found without pepper. This is Eden Organic. Organic tomatoes, organic olive oil, organic sea salt, organic basil, organic oregano, organic black pepper, organic garlic, organic onion, organic thyme. Yep. Say it one more time. Organicville. They used to carry it at Mason Street Festival. They stopped. Then they carry it at Woodman's, and they put it on sale the day before I went.
So where did you get that?
I got that one at Woodman's because my other one wasn't there. Better. Yes.
I have one more question.
Welcome to the club.
Popcorn, and I was using low olive oil. So are you telling me that it's actually really bad?
Were you cooking it in olive oil to make it pop, or are you putting the olive oil on top of it?
No, I heated the olive oil and put the popcorn and made it.
As soon as you see it start to smoke or turn brown, that's turning into that trans fat.
Lunch. Okay.
So grapeseed oil,
Tim.
coconut oil, much easier, much better.
If you have questions.
All right, let's give Jason a big hand.